some kente, some suits, some bags, some perfumes.
She was also diversifying her, her portfolio.
but in as much as we might be laughing right now, what are the effects of people hoarding, FX in their homes? Because money is supposed to be circulated in the system.
Yeah.
So once the monies are not being circulated and there's a short for particular, let's say, currency, it affects the economy. Now, you are the economist. Help us understand the impact hoarding of such currencies, have on the economy. Let's talk, for example, about its impact on investments, its impact on the banking sector itself, because the banks would also want to have these FX.
Yeah.
The banks would also want to lend to people, and the money, the dollars are not in existence. How does this affect inflation? How does this even affect fuel? So take it from whichever angle you want to start it from, but at least four areas, telling us about how it impacts negatively the economy. So we're talking about bank and its business operations in terms of lending. We're talking about inflation. We're talking about fuel prices. We're talking about importations, and you run us through it. The impact it has on the economy.
Yeah. So your question would have to be looked at from two angles. This is forex hoarding. So we are looking at dollarization, for example, if we are talking about dollars, dominance of dollars in our economy, and we are looking at hoarding, the fact that they are not taking it to the bank. So let's look at, first of all, the hoarding aspect of it. If people are holding their monies in their homes instead of taking it to the bank, it means that it's likely to affect how much money will be available for as loanable funds, so that if investors want loans, they are not likely to get from the banks, because the banks will be very careful, because the little amount of money they have there would have to meet everyday transactions, everyday demand withdrawals. And so it is likely that it will affect the level of loans they can give out. And if that is the case, then it will also affect the number of job openings we have on daily, monthly, or yearly basis, because there are several people with good business plans who would want to start new ventures. Now, if the monies are not available for them to get loans and they don't have monies on their own, it means that their plans will be shelved for a long time, and that will affect employment, or unemployment will go up, because then the more we have job openings in the system, the more people get employed. And so that is one aspect of it. And it also means that the banks would also have to be careful how much money they give out, because if the money is not there, you don't just give out any way, and that also could have effect on the lending rate.
I remember somewhere last year, was it? Yeah, it was last year, where they clamped down on the black market and people were dealing in dollars, selling on the black market, because they thought that it was affecting the economy, and we were told that it was the wrong thing to do. So that's that bit. What about when it comes to...
No, it's not even all. It could also thwart monetary policies. You understand? It could have dire consequences on monetary policies, because monetary policies are run with specific purposes. Now, the Bank of Ghana would anticipate that if we say increase the policy rate, interest rate in general will go up. It will attract more people to bring their monies into the banks, and that will reduce money balances in the system, and that has direct effect on inflation. Because if people are not spending but are rather sending their monies to the bank, that is supposed to bring down prices. So it is supposed to reduce inflation. Now, if people are keeping their monies in their homes, it means that no matter how high the policy rate will go, nobody will bring the money to the bank. The money balances will still be in the system. All right? They will just not mind it. So you'll be running your monetary policy, but they will say, you understand? Nobody will mind you, and that is very dangerous for us. It means that we will not get the desired results through our monetary policies. And I'm not surprised that the policy rate keeps increasing and nothing much is happening. All right? So that is one bit of it. And like you mentioned, there's another bit of it. The demand, just the raw demand for dollars, also has implications on our economy. What is it? We have always said that the exchange rate is simply an issue that has to do with demand for money, or prices of monies. So if we are demanding, people are buying more dollars, it means that dollars would appreciate, the city would depreciate. It's as simple as that. So if we are all buying dollars, in order to keep or hoard. The fastest or the obvious implication is that the cedi will perform badly against the dollars. And that is the trend we see. Because she is now out. We don't know how many of our ministers are keeping dollars in their trunks. And we don't know how widespread it is. But it can give us an indication that people who are corrupt might not be using our banking system. Back then, we suspected that they were creating foreign accounts and the rest. For all you know, they have dug some holes in their bedrooms and these monies are there.
So again, let's talk about inflation and how these things, impact on inflation in a country like ours, for example.